not live, right?
Did you work for Abercrombie?
We're live?
At some point?
Now we're on? Hello, everybody, and welcome to the DTC Blow and Smoke Podcast. My name is Handsome Pierce, as always, at the helm of the show. Today we got a really cool thing going on. We got a couple of special guests going on. They're coming through from you fuckers, man. You fuckers. We got a couple of guests coming there from Asylum 13. We got Tom Lazuka in the house. How's it going, Tom?
Very good, Handsome Pierce.
Good. Feels like we've done this before.
Maybe.
Like a snippet version of it, though.
Yeah, like the, prequel.
And we got Raul. How's it going, Raul?
What's up, Piers?
Not much, man. How's the second rally treating you?
Awesome, always.
All the
Yeah.
babes.
All the babes.
So we're going to get into a little bit of a conversation. We love to have these guys come over because when you guys come over, we get to get a little bit more insight into the background and the kind of the underground of cigar production, because I doubt a whole lot of people think about that when they're lighting up a stick, how many people it takes to get that one stick made for them, all that other stuff. What's kind of your history in the cigar world? Where did you start off at?
I started off in like 2000 working for Colibri, the lighter company. I had pizza places, I sold them, and so a friend of mine said you should get in the cigar business. So actually my first job in cigars was with the lighter company.
Nice.
And then after a couple of years, I met the people at Camacho, went to work for Camacho and Christian Aroa. Was on the team with him until he sold to Davidoff, and then I was with Davidoff, and then in that kind of time frame, that 4 years from 2008 to 2012, Christian said, when the non-compete ends, let's start a new company. And so 2012 came, and we started Asylum CLE. Yeah, so
Just took off from there.
slowly, yeah, it just kind of took off.
I can't imagine how many different conversations with Christian that would take, with the intense eyes, the darting back and forth, the gears that are obviously turning in his head every time that you're talking to him, and then the final product. I mean, that's got to be kind of an extensive process, I would think.
No, the product's the easiest part, in the end. I think the cigars, like going down and blending and getting that done, seems to be like the easiest part.
Yeah.
It's like Christian will like make something or like have a concept, and then he'll change it 6,000 times so it releases like 6 months late. But so that's what Raul gets to deal with every day in the office. And then when I come in, I'm just like, Raul, let's just do this. Okay, how's this? Oh, looks good. Print, and we're done.
Just like that. Yeah.
And it's like,
So it's kind of like the odd couple of cigar.
yeah. Oh yeah. We're very different in those ways, me and Christian.
So the start of that was just like, let's make something that's like a game changer, just a little bit more punk and more rock.
No, it's funny. The original plan for this was just me and Christian, 600,000 cigars a year, no employees, other than some office staff,
Right.
and we were just going to sell cigars, just me and him. And so we went out on the road. We brought a few people in, but after the first trade show in Orlando in 2012, he was like, dude, we need to hire some people, because Asylum blew up just like right from the first trade show. It just took off. And he was, this is, I love this part because in the beginning Christian did not want to do big ring gauge cigars, and I'm like, dude, I want to do these big ring gauge cigars. He's like, that's the dumbest idea I ever heard. I'm like, dude, well, I already, I ordered the bands, I got everything going. I need you to make the molds. So we got to start this process.
Force him into a corner a little bit, make him feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. And then he was like, yeah, I'm just going to do it to say I told you so.
Nice.
And
So
Tom, what year was this, Tom?
this was 2011
Okay.
when we started talking about the big ring gauges and doing them. And then,
And your first release was a...
well, we had the Asylum 13 Nicaragua, which was a 50 by 5, 60 by 6, and a 70 by 7.
Okay.
And he didn't want to make the 70 by 7. He was like,
Too damn big.
That's stupid. Nobody's going to smoke that shit. Yeah. Who's laughing now, bitches?
And then the artwork for you guys is pretty unique too. Was the skull a thing from the very beginning? Or?
Yeah, but the original time we had another gentleman that was involved out of Kansas City, and he was going to roll cigars and kind of be the face of the company, and he came down and helped blend, and we were working through all those processes, and so he had a gentleman, I believe his name was Michael Barnhart in Kansas City area, who we hired, and he drew the artwork for us. And originally the 13 just kind of came in after, because it was supposed to be something different, and we got disputed by a hookah company. So we're like, okay, Asylum, they can't dispute a number. 13, okay,
so
that's it.
Asylum, because it's so crazy to make the ring gauges so big.
Yeah.
That's the actual story.
Yeah. No, Asylum. The real thing is, we play into it with the names and the fun of the Asylum, but our original tagline is "Everyone seeks asylum," and the true meaning comes to where you go to relax and get away from the world or enjoy your cigar. So whether it's a cigar shop, a cigar bar like Deadwood Tobacco Company, or your garage or your back porch, or wherever it is that you go and seek your asylum, that's what the brand's really about.
Yeah, so it wasn't, we're fucking crazy, we're going to make some big ring gauges.
Yeah, no.
Maybe we can tell people that, though.
We play into that shit, But.
So the whole lineup, we've got, you started with the Asylum 13. What kind of took you through the path? Were you...
So the original structure of the company, especially on the CLE side, for those first few years, Davidoff had first right of refusal. Christian sold Camacho to Davidoff. So they made the CLE products. So we went to Nicaragua. I wanted to go to Nicaragua and make something stronger, fuller. So we went to Nicaragua and had them make the Asylum 13 Nicaragua. We had the Asylum Premium, which relaunch in the future. Relaunch coming. And then the Schizo Bundle. So, those were the three Asylum products that we started with, and then we just had the CLE Connecticut, Habano, and Corojo at the time.
Gotcha. And the Corojo was kind of taking over the flagship then?
Well, Corojo has always been the star of our Honduran tobacco, right? Christian's father, Christian really liked the authentic Corojo tobacco. We started growing it in Honduras, and when Camacho really blew up as the full-body cigar in the market in the early 2000s, right around 2000, I think they launched it. That really came out as the fullest body cigar at the time. And so we've always had that as our base, whether it was Camacho or with this company, the CLEs, and a fair amount of the Asylum products. We still do the Corojo tobacco, is the base. So, that's my go-to, no matter what. Over time, I've spent, 20 years with Christian and the farm in Honduras. So, everyone asks, well, what would your lasting cigar be if you could only have one? And it would be something with our authentic Corojo tobacco in it from Honduras.
So, like, how many times do you go to Honduras and check all this shit out? Do you go down there and get briefs? I mean, how involved are you in the process of...
Yeah, in the beginning, I was involved a lot more because we had time, and as the company grew, we started adding salespeople. And so me and Christian have always kind of broken up the responsibilities of the company. So, he obviously is in charge of manufacturing and tobacco, and I have run the sales team for years and built the sales. And then we've always shared in the marketing side and ideas and concepts with our marketing team. And more recently, with the crazy demands of the world and what has happened, Christian's focused more, strictly on tobacco and manufacturing side. So I've taken over all the sales and marketing side, working with Raul and the team in the office.
So, like, Raul's pretty
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, just like the media, the way the fucking world's going, and you always have to have a media presence, and it's, do this on this hour and this on this hour, one video per one, picture, all this other stuff. Raul, could you explain a little bit about how you create your day for the different posts that you're going to put out for CLE Asylum?
Well, as Tom told you, we have a structure that it was up and down. Now he's taking over, and it's really good for me because, as he said before, he's straightforward. Christian tends to change things as we go, and that's not a problem with me. I can keep going, but Tom can tell me, hey, do this today, and that's it. I mean, I don't have to change anything else. With that being said, the way we structure our Instagram, right? I try to post as much as I can. I don't look for a perfect picture or a perfect reel. I just post. I like frequency. I like that every time we have something to show.
It also seems like if it looks overproduced, people kind of overlook it.
Yes.
Like the more homey it feels, the better it is.
Absolutely. People like raw, and that's the secret. I believe if you post something without logos, without this. Now, we have used that logo before and put this and put that, but people like raw. I mean, we have someone in Honduras taking videos with their iPhone, and they're doing pretty well. I mean, I don't have to buy expensive equipment.
Video and then send it off to you.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, you obviously got hired for your sex appeal back in the day.
Back in the day, yeah.
Yeah. What was the start for you in the whole cigar world?
Well, I started when I was 17 years old in a cigar shop. George Ramy, which is another friend of mine, gave me that opportunity, and I started with him selling cigars retail. It was pretty fun. It's like pretty much what you guys do in the shop. But then I went to design school, and I talked to Caldwell so I can have an opportunity with him working like in an office, because he was doing real estate back in the day. And he told me, listen, I have something going on. I'm working on this project. It's called Winwood Cigar Factory. And why don't you come and share space with us? So I started working there. I was just freelancing. I was doing art. And it was a really fun time for me because I got to meet a lot of artists. Winwood was upcoming in Miami, and everybody wanted to be there. Everybody wanted to know what Winwood was. The factory back in the day was just, if I describe it, it just unbelievable. And
Wait, unbelievable good or unbelievable bad?
super good to the next level. It was we had something going on. Unfortunately, like, everybody just split, and I decided to go my way, and I started doing more art, and I was working murals. I was working as a freelancer as well, until Christian called me back to like, hey, what are you doing, man? Come over here and help us out. So that pretty much, got me from where I am. But the first time that Christian hired me, he asked me, if you design the straight jacket and people like it at a sales meeting, you're on.
Nice.
So I got hired.
Old school, like, fucking corporate pitch and everything.
Well, I didn't know what to expect, right? And but I went, I bought books about Asylum, and as a designer, you try to be like very specific, very like, oh, you have to have a concept to it. And I tried my best to do something, and they liked it. I got hired. Thank you, Tom.
So, and you've been there for how long now?
Well, back and forward, it's been like 6 years.
Okay. And then, so relationships are a huge thing in the cigar world. We're always finding this out. How important was it, like in your background, being yeah.
Well, my man whore days really helped.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. I didn't want to say it because,
I know. It's not everybody knows it, right? Everybody doesn't know it.
How important was being a rep in the past going into the cigar manufacturing side?
No, it was very important. I think one of the things that really did was that helped was the trips to Honduras. So we used to do these trips, Camp Camacho trips, many years ago. We were the first company doing these trips to the factories.
And this was a trip to the Arroyo Estate?
Yeah, we called it Camp Camacho at the time, right? So
Gotcha.
you've been there.
Yeah.
But we would started doing these tours in like 99, and so when I came into the company, I started doing the tours and bring groups of people down, and had done it so many times. So when we started this company and when I went on the road, it was very easy to walk into a shop and then go, oh, hey, we were in Honduras together. We're at Camp Camacho. Hey, how you doing? You know, I started a new line, you know, and so people were very welcoming and were able to like, yeah, we'll give it a shot, you know. So because, and it really helped build those relationships all around the country doing those trips to Honduras and things like that. So, and understanding, you know, the sales side, I think helps me with the team that we currently have and understanding what they go through every day for my expectations of them to be reasonable expectation.
Yeah, well, sales, no sales.
Yeah, you know, so yeah, I think it was very beneficial.
Well, I think that CLE Asylum has a super unique look. I know all of you guys are focused on the brand, what makes a successful company and brand. How is all of that developed from the marketing side to your involvement, your relationship, partnership with Christian?
Yeah, man, I don't think we've ever really been like brand driven per se, like a persona or anything like that. We're just who we are.
Yeah.
So that's what has always worked. You know, Christian and I have, you know, different views, but he's, you know, was very worldly as a young man. You know, he traveled all over the world. His parents would send him to Switzerland or France to go to school when he was young and learns all these different languages. And I'm just a kid from Detroit, you know, who've never been anywhere in my life. And so the cigar opportunity has really given me the opportunity to go all over the world and see different things. So just the backgrounds are so different for me and Christian, and but I think it's just real. Like, you're not getting anything from us that's fabricated or not just who we are, you know.
Let me ask this. What are the most iconic, popular, best-selling cigars that you guys have produced over the years?
Obviously, you know, in this line, in this second generation of Aroa, and you know, our number one seller still is to this day from day one was the Asylum 13 Nicaragua 770.
Really?
It still grows every year. It's still growing. We sell a lot of big ring gauge 60s, 80s. You know, obviously we do Robustos and other sizes, and now the 90.
Oh, we had a guy buy one last time. We got a video of him toking that big That's the tiniest fucking head you've ever seen in a huge cigar. It was awesome. Anyways, make Graham show you that video when we get back.
Yeah.
Should explain a little bit. We are balls deep in rally time down here in Sturgis, Deadwood area, so this is why everybody's come in. But we, as a team at the DTC, love the support that we get from all of our vendors and everything. So when you guys come in, it makes our job a hell of a lot easier. Obviously, we'd handle it on our own. You know, we're rock stars. But it's the adult summer camp that I was talking about the other day. Once these guys come into town, you know it's fucking rally time. You know it's time to rock, but it's also time to shake hands and holy shit, Raul, how you been, man? Fuck Tom, back, fucking sweet.
Yeah.
You get through those little things, but it's the adult version of summer camp. You get to see your friends again. You get to hang out. You get to work hard, play hard, everything all wrapped into one day of work.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's, you know, it's pretty awesome. I mean, you know, we come in, like you said, we build relationships with all you guys over the years, and you know, on top of the other manufacturers like, you know, Crux and Tony and, you know, Michael from Shiner, you know,
Michael from Shiner
takes us to see the titties.
Tonight is gonna be epic.
Yes, but no, but it's like family, you know. But we got, you know, Michelle, our rep in the Chicago area, covers this, and you know, she's got a great relationship with all you guys, and that, you know, she works the humidor like a monster. I'm too old and fat to do that. I just sit there and talk to people. I'm like, you should really buy a box of this. Go see Michelle. You know, yeah, to handle it. You know.
So this is like what we talked to the other day. This is your like number of rallies. This is your third one with Bill.
Third one with Bill. I think this. Sixth overall, yeah.
So you weren't a virgin to the rally game by any means in the last couple of years.
No, man. I think one of the only reasons I ever got invited, because you know, when you started this, when Vaughn started it, you know, if you came to the rally, you had to hang, and if you couldn't hang, you didn't get invited back. So I kept getting invited back. So I guess that means I could hang and sell some shit.
Now, Raul, you were a fresh face last year.
Fresh face, yeah.
So for last year, experiencing just the whole new fucking world of rally, because I'm guessing you haven't been to something Like that?
Like this, no.
Yeah.
No.
So from then to now, what's changed? What's changed in your perspective? Like just like you get up knowing what you're ready for that day, or what's going to come that day, or just every day's a new experience?
I feel every day is a new experience, right? And every day is different, but it's the same at the same time. I don't know if it makes sense. Last time I was here, consistently changing. But last time I was here, everything was new to me, and I've been to Daytona Beach where they have like a rally as well, but it's not the same thing. And just watching the people, watching you guys, the first time I see kilts like that, and I thought that was pretty cool. The way Bill handles the people, and he's just a joke when he's there. He's working, but at the same time entertaining people. You guys are the coolest too, and Ethan, thank you so much for everything. I love it, man. I really like it. I mean, I'm doing content, I'm filming. The rest of the team are doing the sales, and these guys are monsters. Yeah, Michelle is doing a hell of a job. Tony too, Michael too. Everybody is out there, killing it. I just love the vibe, maybe I don't feel like I'm doing so much, but I just love being there. It reminds me when I was in the cigar shop. It's the same feeling. Yeah.
I'll give you that $20 for saying that later.
Thank you.
That's very nice of you. So what can we expect from Asylum 13?
Well, we got a couple things. Like you said, I kind of mentioned the relaunch of the Asylum Premium. That's a project that me and Raul are working on at the beginning stages of working on that. We have something, I can never say the name of the damn brand. Sensorium. Yeah, so we have a new Asylum for next year that we're going to launch in an event deal. So it'll be the only way you get it. We're going to do 50 events nationwide, and you got to buy into the package to get the brand, and there'll be 50 stores that carry it nationwide.
Fuck yeah. Mm-hmm. Right on. So there's some big things coming down the road.
We do, and not just cigars.
Not just cigars. Yeah.
Size of cigars. Yeah.
Very nice.
10.
100.
1000.
Well, let me throw this out there. We've enjoyed a special relationship with CLE Asylum, and we've done some really cool stuff with you guys, from the Sturgis cigars that we've had running for quite a while now to Chasing the Dragon. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, let's talk about the Dragon, man.
Right. Let's talk about the Dragons.
So, the Dragon is a brainchild of you guys at Deadwood Tobacco, and Bill wanted to do his own brand and get it going. So, we said, Bill, here's a little factory for you. Go down. Ethan, the guys went down and said, here's the shit, figure it out.
It was a whirlwind project, man.
Yeah, like I had nothing to do. Look, I facilitate in my way, but I'm like, you guys got to do it your way, right? So they just went down and started working on it and making mistakes and learning what worked best. And Raul, we were working on designs and
with Ethan
in the concepts, and then we finally came to a product, and then it's came out fantastic. It's been a huge success so far. And, so you can always buy them at Deadwood Tobacco Company, online or in person.
Yeah, Deadwood Tobacco Company, or DeadwoodTobacco.com.
Yeah. DeadwoodTobacco.com.
Well, and Tom,
DeadwoodTobacco.com.
I feel like you were a big visionary behind the project. You saw the potential of it.
Absolutely.
And so I want to just personally thank you, man, for setting all that in motion. And then from the trade show, God, what was that? Couple years back, 2 years,
3 years,
and a half.
Yeah.
Then we flew down to Honduras and we made it happen.
Yeah, well, right after
overnight.
TPE, we're like, hey, you guys need to change your flights and just go from TPE to Honduras.
Yeah. And then Raul and I working on design, even on the plane, man. You were sketching out stuff. We were designing boxes and making it all happen. So there's definitely been an evolution, and I think that's going to continue with.
Hopefully some new sizes we'll add in the future, and we'll have the tins in the future.
I mean, check these out. I've got these up on the screen. They are beautiful.
These are sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wraparound design, like an old school Prince Albert tin.
It's
fantastic.
Old school. I love it, man. I can't wait to see it and to really smoke one of those.
Yeah, so we're hoping those will be the first quarter of next year. we'll have the production and everything rocking and rolling. So they'll be first quarter of next year. And, and then the whole game is to get this to many people as we can. So we're going to launch it nationally, hopefully next year, and get it out to the masses.
What's funny with the rally crowd being around, we get a bunch of international traffic from the Europeans to the Aussies, Canadians, and they're all asking for it. So what's the timeline there?
It'd be the same timeline. I think Bill had already did the trademarking, everything that needed to be done for the European markets and things like that, and we already have our distribution in Canada. So I think the timeline will fall the same. I think, the ultimate goal will be to launch in the U.S., get the product out there, supply the U.S. market, and then step into the European markets. But I think we can definitely pick some key European markets right from the start and see how it works there.
Yeah,
right from the beginning.
Yeah, and we are wholesaling right now to national customers, and that's just going to continue to exponentially increase the availability, right?
Yeah.
Deadwood Tobacco, or info at deadwoodtobacco.com. Attention Pierce if you want to wholesale. So is it just like an Asylum thing where shit just blows up out of nowhere and you're all of a sudden sitting there with a cigar going, holy fuck, okay, this is actually working, let's get this.
You'd like to think that we know what we're doing at times, you know what I mean? But you never know if what's going to work or not work, right? Like even Asylum, we came in, we wanted to do price-specific cigars. We came in less expensive than other brands, big ring gauges, and just how we did it, and it took off, and we always kind of assumed Asylum would be we call it like the Jack Daniels of our line, where it's everywhere. We want it to be everywhere. And then the Aroa brands would be more of the high-end Scotch, you know what I mean, where it's not everywhere, but it's in enough places where people know about it. And so it's kind of worked that way. We kind of came in planning it this way, and fortunately enough, it's kind of played out the way we kind of thought it would, and so I'd like to say that our knowledge of the business and thought went into that, but sometimes it just takes luck. Like it's just something that catches on, and the Asylum took off, and we're fortunate, and the brand, as a company, we keep growing the CLE lines, the Aroa lines. We'll have the Chasing the Dragons, and everything we're doing keeps going in a positive direction. So, we're working on our end to grow more tobacco. We've started new farms, new factories, bigger box factories, and doing everything we can to meet those production demands. That's the hardest part today.
Right. And it's kind of, I just was asking because it's kind of weird sitting there as, you feel like yourself as a bench warmer. They send out, here's 15 flavored cigars, and you're, oh man, that was a tough day smoking that many flavored cigars. But then you're kind of filtering through and you're watching this thing just kind of go.
Yeah, you're trying to, listen, we are not a company that wants to come out and be a copy of something else. What we wanted to do with this project is make something unique of its own, and it's whether it falls into a flavored category or not, this is really more of a traditional cigar. It kind of reminds me of a project, what I did with Dragon Smelt with New Holland Brewery years ago was, we wanted to make a cigar first and then have the subtle hints of the beer or the bourbon that they put, the way they do their bourbon barrel stuff. And so, this is kind of similar. The base of it is still good tobacco, a great cigar, and then we can, steep it and get the flavors that we want into it, but still make it subtle enough where you're not overpowered.
Right. I do love the back end thing though, because like I'm sure everybody thinks that Arroyo's got thousands of employees or whatever, but when you look at the shop down in Miami, it's
5.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It was like you when you were FaceTiming that one day and you were going around, and I was like, holy
shit,
it's like fucking.
It's 10. Yeah, it's 10. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's 6,000 square feet our office. We've never needed anything bigger. We keep talking about, building an office, leaving that as the shipping, but putting our corporate offices somewhere else where we can have more privacy. But it's the workspace in Miami is funny because we're upstairs, right? And so we have Raul and Flavia and Tyler was up there, and it'll be Rupert now, and Christian and Javier, our CFO. So you go in and, you can't have a conversation without everybody hearing your business, right? But it's also just how we do it. Everyone's like, hey, do this. Hey, I need this. Hey, but, so it's like if you put walls in between all of it, nothing would get fucking done.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I think it would just be like, dude, I'm sitting in a box by myself, and we just don't work that way, So I think we need that space of everyone, like, yelling at each other.
But I think, this is the other side. You go down to Honduras. Right, and from my experience, couple visits from last year to this year, going up to Julio's place and then seeing the land and the farms, there's only a few families still left in the business, and Julio is the consummate farmer, right? We were staying at the house, no air conditioning. Christian was bitching about my dad. He's like, this guy puts $2 million into irrigation, but there's no air conditioning in his house. So then this year we go back, and he comes down in the morning. We greet him after seeing the fields, the barns, everything, and he says, man, it's so dry. There's been no rain. And he goes, but the fields are perfect. And there's just a big smile on his face, right? So that's one of the strengths, I think, of the company, is that you guys are leveraging the old family power and then the agriculture, the crops, the tobacco, and it all starts there.
Yeah, it's a fun dynamic over like 20 years with Christian, because his dad is going to do what he wants to do. Yeah. He's just like, what's going on? Listen, I don't know. My dad's just doing whatever he does. Okay, so I'm like, that's you guys deal with that. I stay on the outside of that. But no, his dad's been great to work with for so many years, and to go down, and he is just really one of the people I think that don't get talked about enough in the cigar world.
He's legit. Yep.
Super legit.
The guy is one of the best tobacco growers
absolutely
alive.
Yeah.
Like he's really good at what he does. Yep. And he lives it. I mean, when they sold Camacho, I remember we're at Christian's house, right? So he has this party for us. We're having dinner, and normally, when the sales team's in town, it'll be the sales team. But the shipping guys were there, accounts receivable ladies were there, like the whole office was there. And we're all kind of like, this is kind of weird, We're at his house, and he's got like a hibachi chef there doing hibachi. And it's taking a while, right? And we see some suits in the background. We don't know who they are, We just see these guys. We're like, who the hell are those guys, And so Christian starts talking, and his first thing he says is, at dinner, he's like, hey, first of all, I want to thank you all for being here. And, my dad's been doing this for so long, and he is retiring, as of today. And by the way, we sold the Davidoff. Because it was like big claps, Julio's retiring. And then, we sold the Davidoff. And everyone's like, what the fuck did that guy just say? So we're looking around, and people are going crazy. One of the old marketing guys starts running around the table saying, I told you so. Like, we're like, what the hell are you talking about? So, but it was a great moment, like in the end, I just walked over and said, dude, you lived the dream, man. You built your business. Yeah. You were able to give yourself generational wealth and take care of your family for years to come. So it was awesome. And then slowly but surely after that, he's like, I'm too young to retire. Let's start a company together. And I'm like, all right, I'm down.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's kind of putting those blocks together, too. I mean, once you got, like, Christian very much the business guy, you very much the sales guy, you got the sales team, you got Julio as, the farmer. So you got those three major blocks, adding media into there. Right. And it's just that ever, changing thing. You're going to say something before that.
Well, I was going to add that, we are very experimental. We like to throw things out there, We, like Tom said, I mean, we don't think about something, the concept is this, and we sit down, we smoke cigars, and we just start doing, Our thing is time. I believe that more than anything else. I believe that we do everything in a way that it's extremely fast, that allows us to be where we are all the time because of how, that brings us to certain problems that we're fixing right now, but we're growing, and I can feel the company is growing to an amazing thing, you know, an amazing company. So it's very experimental. Like when we did the 90 by 9, I was working with William at a time, and it was April Fool's, and he needed to post something. So he asked me, "Hey man, what should I post, man? What should I have no ideas." I'm like, "Have a good time, enjoy yourself. I don't know. Tell them that we're gonna do a 90 by 9." He's like, "You know what? That's a great idea. Let's do that together." So we sent that, and we started getting requests like, "Yes, do it. What the fuck? This is not a joke. Come on, do it."
But if you scrolled the page, it just said Asylum 990 coming soon. But if you flipped the page, it said April Fool's. So if you never flipped the page, you just saw Asylum 990 coming soon. And then you'd see people catch on later like, "Oh, you guys are fucking around.
This is not a joke. Come
you
on."
know, and then they're like, "Make it, you pussy." Yeah. Like we were getting message after message. Like these people wanted it, right? So we're like, "All right, Christian, let's make it." But I think that's what works. Like, you know, simple things like the Ogre. You know, the Ogre was a cigar I made for a friend of mine, Ron English, who still, until like last year when he came to the office and visited Christian, he thought I had made up the story. But Ron was a, you know, college football player, college coach. He coached at Michigan as a defensive backs coach, and he was a defensive coordinator, and then as the head coach at Eastern Michigan. And I had done a number of charity things with Ron throughout the years, and when he went to Eastern Michigan, we had always made a Liberty, but a Candela Liberty. But we did the Eastern logos, and we'd do 10 boxes and raffle them off to earn money for the football program. And when me and Christian left and started this company, Ron called me and said, "Hey, you know, my relationship's with you. Can you make me something?" And I said, "Yeah, I've got an idea already." And another friend of mine, Darren Hildebrand, who he has Great Lakes Cigar Company. He's a roller up in the Norwalk, Ohio area, who's been a great customer of ours for many years and a close friend of mine. And, you know, I'd stay at his house all the time. We'd drink bourbon, and then we'd sit in his back, and he would get tobacco in, and we'd roll cigars together, and he would teach me how to roll because I really don't know what I'm doing. But, you know, and we'd roll some cigars and sample things, and that's where we made the whole idea of the Ogre was done in his barn. And then, so, you know, when Coach Ron came, I said, "Listen, I'm going to do the Ogre. It's a barber pole candela." And I called Christian. I said, "Listen, I need you to make 10 boxes of a 770 for Coach Ron." And he's like, "Hey, listen." And we were actually in Ohio at the time. It was, we were at Havana House with Tony Bellato doing an event that night. And after the event, we were sitting in the lounge, and we were coming up with names. Christian's like, "We should just launch that nationally and make it a brand." And we're like, "What should we call it? Shrek? Ogre? What? Well, maybe Shrek, we get sued. All right, Ogre." I mean, that was it, that fast.
Yeah.
I'm like, "I need 10 boxes for this." Oh, let's make that a brand. And all of a sudden, and
that's it.
It's a great brand for us. You know what I mean?
The speed of it is amazing. When we went down to Honduras to do the Dragon Project, it was a whirlwind, man, from start to finish, working in the box factory. And it's so cool to have an idea, and a crazy idea, right? So the fact that logo's done, boxes are going to be painted, everything has to be decided now. And you kept pressing me, Raul, on stop sweating the details, man. This has got to happen today. We got to turn this out. It's amazing, man, start to finish.
Well, we have it from Christian too, right? He comes in and he's like, "All right, let me see what you guys have. Are you thinking too much? Let's go." Boom.
Yes.
And we already have it. It's just... it's timing, right? We already have it. 3 days to design took 2 days.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's really getting the bands done, the boxes sized properly. You know, especially, and with the COVID, you know, everything's got pushed back. You know, it was 4 months to get a band. So you put it, normally we get it in 5 weeks, 4 weeks. Now we got to think out 4 months, five months by the time the band's there, gets made, shipped to the factory, cigars made, put on the cigar, shipped back to us, then shipped to you. You know, it's a process that takes time. So the planning is something we had to be much better at, and that's why I was pushing them. Like, if you guys don't go now, it's not going to be done on time. We're never going to get it done. You have to go and figure it out today. and you guys went down,
Yeah.
you banged it out, and that's it. You
And
know,
it's selling.
It's amazing to be in a manufacturing country where everything from the raw materials to boxes to, I mean, everything can be done in-house, and then you have to supplement with some bands and some extras, but it's phenomenal. Phenomenal.
yeah, it's like being in a, you know, a cook in a kitchen that has
Yes.
every
Everything,
spice,
yeah.
every meat, everything in the world that you could try and mix together.
Yeah.
You know.
This is an experiment. We're going to see how it goes.
And it doesn't always come out good. I mean, some of them come out, you're like, holy shit, that's terrible. You know? But, yeah.
Yeah. This has been so awesome to have you guys here. I know that those guys are probably going to be chopping at the bit here if we don't get going here pretty soon. But thank you guys so much for coming down to the
Thank you,
podcast,
Bruce.
sitting down in the chairs, having a conversation with these poor old fools. I hope we get to do it again sometime soon.
I hope so too, man.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for having us on,
Thanks,
Pierce.
guys.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ethan.
Thank you, man.